Hello and welcome to this Wargame Red Dragon game, played on this map, the only map in Wargame Red Dragon. Today we've got Canada playing as the Soviet Union, by the looks of things. Might be like some VDV thing. There's always units. Where are always units? That's really weird. He's got like 3 units here. Hmm. And we've got Korean Invasion playing as the Soviet Union as well, so not Korea, which is in this game. He's open with a yak there, and then we've got Redacted playing as also the Soviet Union, so I've got a lot of variety on the team here today. I don't even think they're in coalitions. I don't think there is a coalition with the Soviet Union. There used to be Soviets and North Koreans, but they took it out because apparently it was too OP. Anyway, um, yeah, looking at the deployments here, we've got he's opened with a yak, which I thought was some kind of slow piece of crap, but this must be the new one or something. I mean, it looks more like a MiG 25 than interesting. Interesting. So yes, it's an ASF, and then we've got just a bunch of what's like 6 units here. It's really strange, and a fob, but the fobs aren't that expensive. And then over on the right, we got, more CVs. We got Redacted and Korean Invasion. You can't view the orders, right? And they've got a mix of. You can't select these and like view what's inside them and stuff. So this is why I don't spend too long on the deployments. You just don't get that much from it. But yes, they've got a big conga line of infantry and recon, presumably going across this bridge here. Then you've got some helicopters, a helo CV, and a recon helo. Switching to their opponents, we've got Tracked Child Rapier, and he's playing as Denmark. No, he's playing as Scandinavia. So that's Denmark, Norway, and Sweden. There you go, Swedish, uh, Norwegian, and Danish. And he'll go over here somewhere. And then this is Vic Alaric. He's playing that Marine div that we just had a look at, right? I think I put that in. It might just happen now. Right, so this is the deck review for Vic Alaric, and he's playing as the US. So given the map and the tactic, these guys literally just do the same thing every time. I don't know how they can stand it. They just kind of sit there with a bunch of fobs by artillery, and then, there's a big river. It's kind of hard to attack, sit there and hit everybody with the artillery. So that's why the 2 fobs are there, and the hemps to move things to and from the fobs. Don't know about the viability of helo supply in these team games in Wargame. But yeah, the fob carries 16,000 and the helo carries 10,000 across the thing. So I guess that all makes sense. We've got some CVs here. It's a Lav C2, and you get 4 of them. This you get 3, but it's got 3 top armor. So if the plan is to just kind of sit there and try not to die, why don't you get the one with the 3 top armor? Because it won't die as easily to artillery and stuff trying to snipe the CVs. And it's only 40 points more, so you do get 1 less, right? So infantry, so like what? I mean, where's the? Typically, you want something like the light rifleman 90 because you can get them in a Humvee, so they'll get there faster than these guys who are getting there in. If the idea is to get to this river line as fast as possible and then camp for the next 50 minutes, then you want to get there quickly. And, you can use helicopters if you want, but the Humvee goes at 150 and this goes at 110, so they will get there faster. They also have the Super Dragon, which is the Dragon 2 from Wano, I guess, except it's got less AP, but it goes further. Um, so yeah, that's a nice card to have, right? I mean, do you really need 45 US Marines 90? It's a bit silly, really, isn't it? So get some of those. US Marines 90 are okay. It's just you're paying 10 points more and they've got the same HP as the regular ones. So I don't think they're actually that great for the price. I mean, so they're good against vehicles and stuff because they've got the AT4s instead of the laws. And the AT4 in this does 19 pen instead of 18. Law's the same. And the Mini Me is better than the Colt apparently because it's got a higher fire rate. So they are a little better. Another thing you can do is bring this like small team, one of these, because they're like close range shooty guys. Um, where are they? It's like Navy SEALs or something. Oh, this is a Marine deck. It's not just USA. It's Marines because it's missing some stuff. Because you, although shouldn't there be Navy SEALs then? Are they in the recon tab? They are. He's not brought them. Weird. Another thing you could do is bring the Delta Force. They're pretty good for like you get like a 4 stack of them and you just sort of teleport them around all the buildings and they just immediately kill everything. It's actually pretty crazy. But you can do the same with the Navy SEALs, which he hasn't brought either. I'm not sure why. Is this a Marine deck? I mean, yeah, these are all. Although Rifleman 90 armor. No, no. Armored. No, it's just a standard deck. My bad. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't play this game that much, but like, why have you got 8 stingers? So lots of RT for the obvious reasons. Patriots you only get 1 card of, so that's why there's only one there. I'd be tempted to bring 2 Atacams if you're gonna do this strategy of sitting around. And then yeah, you've got the Avengers. Like, do you need 2 cards of Stingers? Why? Why do you need 2 cards of Stingers? How much accuracy does it get when it levels up? Where are we? Plus 8% and you lose a third of the availability. Yeah, I don't rate that. I mean, I guess it's mainly for the Bradleys, right? But you can get Bradleys much more efficiently if you get the Rifleman. Then you get lots of Bradleys, right? So you can get that. Um, yeah, I mean the Avenger. I suppose it's nice at the start of the game, but you got these Stingers and stuff. But I suppose they're coming in a slow transport. This is just AA and AA. I mean, if you're going to sit across a river for 50 minutes, you need lots of AA. In terms of the tanks, the base M1 Abrams is incredibly cost effective. It is a Marine. No, it's not a Marine deck. And it's typical to get a card of, mega heavy tanks and just keep those alive. And they do a lot of work, right? They do a lot of work. This is like 361 no bucks. I mean, it's got 22 front armor and stuff like that. Yeah, we've gone for the trash spam MBT-70. It's got the ATGM on it, but you've got the Bradleys for that. But it has 12 armor, so I guess it makes sense. Supreme 60 I'm not too familiar with. I mean, it's clearly better than the regular one, but you got to pay more for it. And then lots of M1A ones. But yeah, the base M1 in this is pretty good. It actually does have a less range on the gun, and it used to have less range on the gun in Wano, but they changed it to make all the tanks the same. Longbow's really nice. It fires 2 of these at once. It's pretty crazy, and they're fire and forget, so it doesn't need to keep LOS. Yeah, I mean this thing's really good for the same reason it's good in Wano. It's got that stealth on it. Fires the TOW2s with the stealth. It can be very, very difficult to deal with. Oh yeah, he has actually brought those. I'm not sure what the... Oh, this has exceptional optics somehow. Okay, fine. Rangers can be nice. But yeah, the seals, like not having the seals is really weird. What do you need this for? I mean, you've got the Bradleys, so just get rid of that. The seals are very, very nice in... Because basically there's like one building line that he always camps in. I've seen about 6 of his games. He just does the same thing every time, so you might as well optimize for that. And if you had a couple Navy SEALs in there, they would kill whoever walks up. So, yeah, also amphibious transport, which is useful on this map because of that specific river that they have to cross, right? So, you can get 4 or 3. I mean, I don't know much about how this works in Red Dragon compared to Wano. In Wano, you'd bring the 3, so... Vehicles, so we got Toe 2 with bad stealth. I'm not sure how useful these things are. I used to bring this thing, but I'm not convinced it's actually very good. I just thought it was funny. It's got 6 regardless rifles on it. It is funny how this game's set in the future compared to Wano has objects like this, which aren't in Wano because they were all destroyed. Oh, well, that's a shame. You know, we can't have it because they were all destroyed. Unlike World War Three, which, you know, World War Three actually happened, right? So, what's more likely? They put you in charge of the American army in World War Three, or they kept some of these around? Clearly, you're very far up your own arse if you believe the former. um, anyway, CEV is like the one in Wano. It's got more armor. It's got less range though, but it's got 8 HE. So we'll see how that does. I'm not sure how good it is. I just used to bring because like yeah, you can bring this. It's great against infantry, but the one in the AA or support tab, which is like AA and the other one, it costs twice as much, but I believe it aims faster. Or at least it's got twice the oh, actually, it's got less range. Weird. Yeah, it's got less range. Interesting. Some helicopters. Couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you. This one's got seed missiles on it, so it can be pretty funny. And then this is another Apache. With 3 per card, by the way, unlike in Wano, where it's 1 per card. And then you've got a seed, and those do work a bit better in this game. A Nighthawk and an Aardvark. I'm not so sure about all that. I probably wouldn't bother with the planes at all, really. But basically in the Navy tab, that's where he's got his fighters. The Super Hornet and the Tomcat. Navy in this game works really dumb. I'm sure we'll get plenty of time during the game for me to explain it. And I'll see you there. And he'll be going over here. I haven't seen the game, but I mean, it's like they just do the same thing every time. It's really quite amazing. And yeah, we got some Bradleys in here and just some infantry, but you'll notice it's all slow infantry. There's like 1 truck. Everybody else is, oh, this is wheeled. What is this? Some Norwegian stuff. But for the most part, it's all tracked stuff, so it's going to get there second, you would assume. But we got a bunch of, you know, sort of small heli rush here, 20mm. These are like the Gazelle cannon things, basically. We got a puff. That's British slang for gay, if you're wondering. And then we've got Joe 95, who's presumably also playing America. And I don't know if this is like some tactical thing or... Oh, no, it's because he opened with a Nighthawk, so there's a Nighthawk over here. Who knows why? I suppose this will spot for the Nighthawk. Yeah, let's see what happens. Right, so they're off, and it's time for me to thank the generous channel joiners, generously joining the channel. They get their names on the screen, they get the videos early, they get members exclusive videos. They also get a Steam key for my game, which is on Steam. It's called Hearse Hero. The store page isn't live yet, but the keys are going out, and you can play the game. It's currently in alpha testing, so there is room for improvement. But I keep getting contradictory feedback from people, so if you give me some feedback and I don't listen to it, it's not because I don't like you personally. It's because I've heard it from somebody else, the opposite. So I've had people tell me like the steering's bad on the car, and now I've had other people tell me that it's fine, and it's like, okay, well. Anyway, big airwave at the start there, so that explains the lack of units. Like, a lot of them just opened with bombers. This Nighthawk accomplished literally nothing. Why would you open a Nighthawk? I suppose he had to evac because of the fighters and so on. Well, although they've gone now, so now the Nighthawk would be useful, right? Although this thing has iglas on it, so presumably that's why his Kiowa can't get close enough to see these guys and hit them with the Nighthawk. Oh, here it is, actually. He's bought 2. Or maybe it just comes back straight away. Over here, Starmer has been hit by BRDMs. Look, so the red made it across first, although they're not unloading their stuff, so they're all dying. SU-25T, this is in Wano. As the T-8M. So wow, red actually, although they've decided to just stop paying attention and just let themselves get hit by an Atacams, which I assume that's what that was. Yes, so just losing all their guys, not bringing them across the river. So they got across here and they took this, and that's the first time we've seen that happen in the 5 or 6 games I've cast from this guy. And then they just didn't bring over the rest of the unit, so he just took it back. Wow. So, not going great for red, although, you know, I mean, really, they should have left somebody in here. Well, what happens if these just come over? Lots of Bradleys firing ATGMs over here. You know, there's a lot of things I prefer about the damage model in Red Dragon. Like, stuff actually dies. Look, stuff's dying. Crazy, I know. Nighthawks finally found something to hit. But, like, why aren't they unloading the vehicles? I don't understand. They're just losing everybody. So, yeah, mega aggressive push here from red, but in doing so they've sort of given up this entire side. And as usual, blue side is sort of Team Vic or whatever you want to call them, have just opened with a bunch of CVs. So red, they get the ground, but they're behind on points. It's really something. So we got some Norwegians here, some Stormers, and they're backed up by 50 cal vehicles. This looks like a VAB, but I mean it's obviously some Norwegian thing, but yeah, that's a 50 cal. You'll notice the graphics aren't as good, but I don't really care about that at all. I mean, considering you spend most of your time looking like this, like why? I don't know. People care a lot about graphics. I don't know why. Because, yeah, in Wano, yeah, it does look better, and that is nice to look at. But if you spend most of your time just looking at these boxes, does it really matter how this thing looks if you zoom in? Like, how often are you doing this? There's always somebody who's like, I do this. It's like, well, what do you play? 10v10 or single player, where you can actually afford to do that. In multiplayer, if you're doing this, you're losing because somebody's dying over here and you've not noticed. Basically, it's just coat because my game doesn't have very good graphics. Anyway, these things are pretty cool. They are adding the Marines to Wano in that Lanja expansion, so that's cool. But you'll notice that when they unload, they don't all die. Like, when the vehicle gets blown up, they don't all die. And that's something that is still in the code in Wano, because all the games are just based off each other. Still in the code, but they just edited it to add a flat damage value that just makes sure you always die. So I'm not sure why they did that. Obviously the other way around is the broken arrow way of doing things, where they come out of the vehicle fully intact with full HP, full cohesion, or whatever you want to call it, morale, 0 suppression. That's probably going to kill somebody. So that's a good place to use your bombers, because it's near your air zone, and chances are the AA is back here somewhere. But yeah, I mean, red, they're doing well on the ground, but because they didn't bother opening, like this guy, Canada, has just sat here and just, you know, I don't think he's... Oh no, he is actually helping his team out. Is he? He sent an OSA. He's got some guys in there. But because they didn't open CVs, even though they've got the superior positioning, they're just behind. And so then they have to spend the rest of the game attacking across the river. So it's just like I mean, this game's been out for ages, so there's really no excuse for not understanding this. It's like a fundamental lack of understanding of how this is going to work. You don't need to be... I have 400 hours in Red Dragon. I'm not good at the game. But I understand, okay, big long river... Should probably cap all the zones as soon as possible, because it's going to be hard to push over the big long river. It's probably going to be a stalemate, right? And so you should open with as many CVs as you can, and as many FOBs as you can, and just get the points, because yeah, like red they had the better position there. Obviously everybody's dead now, and they've lost that positioning, but they had that position. And instead of capitalizing on it, they're actually behind 200 points now, because they just didn't open with the CVs. And a lot of that is because of this Canada guy. He didn't secure this, so blue had that for ages, and he didn't secure this, which is a +2. These are +1s; they matter less. And he had nothing else going on. You know, I mean, he's helping this out, I suppose, but like on his side, all he has to do is buy the CVs, but they don't do it. I don't. I hate team games. I hate them so much because I guess I hate people. I don't. I suppose yeah, if you're hanging out with your friends, then it's good because hopefully your friends are not retarded. But you know, maybe they are. I don't know. So when the vehicle gets blown up next to the guys, they all get panicked. So you see they're all panicked here. But these are Spetsnaz, and they have the Reese, which for some reason... Oh, it is shooting, it's just got a long reload time. And so you expect them to beat the Marines. The Marines are shock trained. So in this game, there's veterancy, and there are more ranks of veterancy, which is better than Wano. And there's training. So those are two separate things. Now in Wano, they removed a rank of veterancy to dumb it down, I guess. And they removed training as a concept. Then, during the early access, they kind of realized they'd made a mistake. And then they added the traits to sort of replace the training. So there is a special forces trait, which I think was in from the start, actually. But like they added more traits, so like militia is its own trait now, whereas in Red Dragon that's a training level. And reservist is its own trait, whereas in Red Dragon I believe that's the level above militia. I think it goes militia, reservist, regular, shock, elite. Elite is special forces, right? And the shock trait in Wano is really bad. I mean, it really is. But yeah, in this game you get more units, and it does lend itself to this kind of... Like, you'll notice they're being very unoptimal with their units. They're just sort of running them in and losing them all, and it's because they get more units, so... I mean, at least that's part of the reason. Obviously, you know, you have to keep... If you're still playing this game in the year 2025, you have a severe mental illness, and so that's another reason why they're doing it, but, you know, credit where credit's due. Part of the reason is, of course, if they have more things to control, it's harder to control them. You also can't give orders from, like... So, like, in Wano, you click up here, click the unit, click Y, and click on the map, and then it'll get there and automatically unload. I don't think you can do that in this game. Things like that. You can't view the orders. Maybe you can if you're not a spectator, but... So it's a lot harder to do stuff. So, here you go. Canada here, doing his best to let down the North American continent. Although they are Soviets, so I'm not sure how that works. But, yeah, it looks like he's gonna lose this because this presumably sees him. There's no LOS tool in this game. This presumably sees him, or it will soon. I mean, it's recon, right? It's exceptional optics. And, yeah, presumably he's gonna get that. So, red on that +1, despite having the better position for most of the game, is now at a disadvantage. The red side is better. Usually Vic and his friend Tracked Child Rapier, which is a pretty good name, they're usually on that side, and it's just way, way, way better. I don't know, it's just an incredibly imbalanced map, because you get across the bridge at the start, and you also get this position here, which lets you just shoot across the entire zone, and you get this position, which lets you shoot across the entire zone. What does blue get for their troubles? Nice big open field to advance across. Wow, incredible. Over here, I guess it's about the same. I haven't noticed any severe... Obviously, this island's a little bit bigger, which helps. More places to hide, but... And, like, nothing happens here because of the bridge and the river. Or here because of the bridge and the river. So it's very difficult to... Because generally red does just get this at the start, and then they just contest this side of this river, and then they're just automatically winning. And if you're on the blue side, you gotta hustle somehow. You gotta figure out how to sort this out. You can either cross here, cross this nice big open field, and then shoot you from here, and over here, of course. And then you gotta get in here and try and push them that way. or easier is to get into these buildings, and then you don't have as long to go. You use some smoke here, and then you can run across and take this. The mistake most people make, so I've seen a lot of these games now on this map, is this is the closest thing to this blue spawn. So they come in here and they just attack this way over and over across the big open field, get shot from here, and die. And they just do that for like 50 minutes. It really is something. So, but yeah, the map's very imbalanced, as indeed most of the Red Dragon maps are. Yeah, you see this Joe guy, he's got a lot of planes. B-Can, so this is one of the best arty pieces in the game. It fires in like a group, so Patriot, let me take it. Oh, that must have shot at one of his planes or something. So now he's saying I'm going to take it with presumably his Smirch, which he's firing from next to his fob. That's another way these games tend to end. One team brings 5 fobs. These guys always bring 5 fobs. There's only 4 here. Wow, I was wrong all this time. There's only 4 fobs. And then their opponents tend to bring like 1 each, so 3. Then they just run out of supply. I mean, it's really something, man. Need to get some psychologists to analyze these games. So that's an interesting mortar. PACT struggles with self-propelled mortars, but in this game there's no towed units at all. So everything is just on some kind of track, so this is your mortar, basically. But yeah, I never understood why anybody buys planes on this map. Because all you gotta do is just, like, both sides. So you see the Patriots here, and you don't get S300s, but you get Cubs and Bucks and stuff. Just put those all over there whenever the plane comes out, just toggle the radar on and kill it. You gotta leave it switched off by default, because seed in this game actually works. There you go, we got some helo deployed guys, and they're gonna clean this out, and what do you know? I'm really not sure why you put it there. Like, why not put it here? Next to your base? It is what it is. Canada doing Canada things. So yeah, red on the +1, still behind, but it's about to be even because this is about to die. And they're not rectifying the issue, he's just pinging everywhere. I prefer 1v1. Because, like, okay, this is about to die. Well, beep boop, how do I win this game? We can't push because there's a big river. I need to make sure this zone is blue controlled for as little time as possible. Engage my brain cells, all 3 of them. Come to that conclusion. And if the game had just come out, I'd get it. This game is older than some of the people watching this video. So, see if I can find it for you. Yep, it is 2014. Wow, that's incredible. That feel went old. I'm a 28-year-old boomer. I'm almost 3 times older than this game. I've not seen this before. Amos. Interesting. So, oh, I know I have. It's a double mortar. Like, it fires both at once. I don't. Obviously, wait, is that real? But I suppose it makes sense, because for artillery you want a little bit of dispersion, right? So that, you know, you get some kills instead of hitting this, making a very big hole, very deep hole in one small part of the ground. You want a little bit of natural dispersion, so having 2 barrels, twice as many bullets, I guess it makes sense. Obviously the sort of the far end of that is the like the MLRS, right? You just fire a bunch of rockets all at once and then go reload, and nobody can mess you up. The disadvantage of such things is that they are not cheap to operate because you're firing so many bullets at once. And you gotta have these massive ammo depots full of these unguided projectiles. It's kind of hard to sort out on a logistical scale. But in a video game, that doesn't matter, so they nerf them in other ways. Just make the supply costs really high, make the reload time... I suppose the reload time is obviously going to be higher than like a single tube howitzer or something. So the Marines are here, they're actually going the wrong way. I'm quite surprised by that, given that these guys are going forwards. But yeah, the lack of smoke I find very, very disturbing. Right? You're shooting across this big open field, right? I mean, it's just sort of brute force. There were like 100 guys there, like 90 guys there. So I guess it's going to work, but a lot of that is because his opponent's retarded. So none of these are firing. If they were here, they'd all be shooting, and these guys would all be dead. Same with the BTR-90, same with the Scratch It, but... You know, there's a lot of fluoride in this river, basically, and they spend all day drinking it, these Red Dragon players, so... You get what you pay for. So yeah, it looks like the Marines are going to take it. But yeah, generally, I mean, if you... Because you've got time, right? These games go on for so long. You should just smoke here, so they can't shoot you here. Smoke here, and then run in. And then these guys don't shoot you. Does that not make sense? So Canada here has failed epic style and is now just dragging his team into the mud. All he had to do was just put the CV there or buy another one and put it there, right? Have some guys on this bank. Maybe put a few guys on here. You are the VDV. I believe these are amphibious. I'm looking for... Yeah, it is. Yeah, and it's down here. Obviously the UI in this game is kind of crap, but 35 kilometers an hour. And look, there's not much gap here. You just beep boop, get them in. Nah, let's just lose. Okay. Atta comes round, coming in. They're firing from next. Oh, this could kill something. So sadly, this isn't in Warno because who knows why. Wow, perfect square there. But yes, it looks like they are moving. So this is a Smirch. Misters, you know these from Warno, right? The warning order. For whatever reason, the units in this game don't scale with like the... I guess it's like a visual design choice so that you can see the fences and stuff from further away. But like, look how big this fence is. In real life, that would be something you could just, you know, step on this bottom one and just climb over. Apparently this thing is smaller than that fence. So yes, they need more inf there. Somehow they survived that attack. Not sure how, because I wasn't looking. I'm fluoride-minded. So, yes, infantry is coming. I mean, they need a lot more than that, but... Like, because, like, red is just... They've just got the better side of the map. Oh, he's making it as hard as possible for himself here. Okay, so this isn't actually the Canada guy. They've just sort of given up on him. Somebody else is doing it now. Okay, fair enough. So here comes a, you know, big plane brain, and this has no escorts, so it's not going to be able to intercept all these. It'll intercept a couple, maybe. Apparently, it'd rather shoot at the evacing plane than the missiles that are blowing it up. It's not dead, somewhat surprisingly, but generally you get escort ships and you put them in front, and they have Sea-Wiz on them, or their own, you know, radar intercept missiles, but generally you want the Sea-Wiz. But yeah, if you leave it in the open like this, the next thing that hits it is an ATACMS missile, so... It's rough, yeah, he basically should have just bought the next BTR-70 or whatever and just put it here, right? I mean, they've even got stuff on these helicopters so they could just helo drop a guy back here. They have to appreciate that every second... Yeah, this is so dead, man. I mean, Luda. Yeah, just a fundamental misunderstanding of how this map is going to play out. So, the Marines have made it with the Stormers, the Stormtroopers. 20-point Norwegians, shock. Is that good? I don't know. I mean, the MG3 in this game is actually good. Like, the machine guns aren't just all the same in this game. They are actually different. So, and you'll notice the Carl Gustav has 18 pen instead of 16, like it does in Warno. So yeah, Blue's going to be able to get somebody in here soon. At which point they'll be on a +1, and they are still ahead because they just bought CVs early. But, like, it must be so frustrating. I'm getting secondhand frustration just watching this. Like, you had it, you did everything right, but your friend's retarded. And, like, this isn't why I'm not in a... This is why I'm not in the real army. Right? Obviously, this is the only reason. There can't be any other reasons. It's just because some flipping retarded get me killed. Do you know what I mean? Like, you do everything right, and the guy next to you just accidentally shoots you because he's, you know, been drinking paint thinner. Anyway, cool Abrams push here. Did you see that epic play? He split it. So, when they come in grouped up like this. And if you split it, it breaks the targeting on the enemy planes. So that's why only one of them died. Also, when things miss in this game, they go on it and then they just massively jump over. It's always very funny to watch. So, looking pretty good for Blue, because they've neutralized this, and now all they have to do is get a CV in here, right? And they've got plenty of places to hide it now. And this is taken. Because of, you know, this guy doesn't know how to play. Is this a CV? That's a transport. Oh, I see. Okay, so it's because he's been bringing them in from the sea route. So he's going there because it's closer than going here. So even though he knows that there are guys in here because they killed him last time. What? Interesting. Even though he knows that there's guys in here, he's just doing the same thing. But, hey, Red have a really good chance now. One of the Blue players just left. So, maybe Red's going to win. So, yeah, you get these... This is why playing on the naval mode is crap as well, because it lets you get, like, extra MiG-31s and extra Tomcats in the Navy tab. There's only... The Navy tab, there's one for NATO and one for PACT, so it doesn't matter what deck you're playing. The Navy tab's always the same if you're blue or red. And so you can be playing, like, Sweden and just get an extra F-14, right? Or, you know, lots of things like that. So... It's a shame how undercooked it was, because it actually does have a reasonably good, the kind of baseline gameplay behind the ships isn't actually that bad. You get the escort vessels, they intercept the missiles, like it's fun. I enjoy it. But there aren't enough ships, and it's... Yeah, like the fact that there's only one Navy, and you can just get infantry in the Navy tab, because it's the only way to get... Because there's like maps where you just spawn in boats, and so if you want to get infantry onto an island, it's either got to be in a helicopter or a boat transport, and the only way to get boat transports is in the Navy tab. But it's really weird, like you can play as Britain and just get like a bunch of Japanese units in the Navy tab. So the reason people play with it is just so they can get extra planes. And which you can see, these Tomcats coming out, right? They're most likely from the Navy tab. Anyway, that boat got here and died. So we'll see. We'll see what's worse. Because it's not even the AI that takes over. This will just be given to... I believe it just goes to the first player. So this will be given to Tracked Child Rapier. He'll have control of all these units now. So, yeah, he's got a... I mean, to be honest, all he's really doing is just pushing over here. But, you know, the other thing is that it gives you more unit availability if guys on your team leave. So that is actually a strat. I doubt he did that because there's still like 25 minutes left, so he must have had a lot of units left. But if you genuinely run out of units, the best thing you can do for your team is leave, because they'll get more units of their own that they can bring in. and it can include big ticket items like, you know, like another smirch or another plane and stuff like that. Because if it's a 2v2, you basically, and your teammate leaves, you just get like double the availability basically. So it looks like they know about this, although it's retreating. So it looks like it's going to be okay. And you see, so we were speaking in the deck review about why it's nice to have the 3 top armor one. So if this had 1 top armor, that the first one would have just blown it up. Because look, it's lost a third of its HP, just over a third of its HP, 40%. So they're just doing the same thing here. I don't know, the object permanence. I've been calling it object permeance for several years, which is pretty funny actually. Permeance is a performance measure of membrane transport. So like how fast something moves through a membrane. If you don't know, I am finishing a PhD in chemical engineering. I work on membranes for carbon dioxide separations. That's why I've been calling it object permeance. Because I'm just retarded, I guess. You know, they talk a lot about anti-expert culture, right? Yeah, I completely understand why there's an anti-expert culture. I know lots of extremely well-qualified people, right? The sort of people that go on the news and tell you what to think. And they're all fucking retarded, man. I gotta tell you this. Well, that's not true. Some of them are smart and some of them are stupid, just like people you find everywhere else. And just because somebody's got a fancy degree does not mean you should listen to them. If anything, you should treat them with a great deal of skepticism, because all they've done basically is just learned a bunch of propaganda and regurgitated it in an exam. PhD is a little bit different because you actually have to do some research yourself, right? But you can, you know, there are PhDs where people help you, right? Things like that. Whoa, massive air combat over here. Look at that. Big air combat from the Korean invasion and Redacted. And Canada's back here helping by just flying his guys around in circles while everybody else fights. And they've brought in the next one, but they need ground-based escort. He's just doing the same fucking thing. I guess the healer will get there first and spot. So yeah, both of these are neutralized, and now blue's in a. I mean, if it just sort of, if nobody gets any points, then they're gonna win. But now it's 3 people's micro against 2s. But honestly, it can be disadvantageous to have an idiot on your team rather than an AI. So I'd actually rather be in blue's position, unironically. And look at that, they're on a +1. So yeah, all they got to do is so just the same thing again. So he just lost. Is this a new one, like a new one, or was that there before? I think no, another one came in here and it died. This guy's genuinely brain damaged. He just like look, this has just stood here. It sank this. There was another one there. I think it just disappeared. The wreck got destroyed. And he's just like, I'll just send in another one and just keep doing it till he runs out of ammo. And wow, it worked. Wow, what a great player. So over on this side, we got comes coming in. These are always nice to watch. Yeah, so he's just going for the boat because, well, it can't move while capping the zone. All they got to do is just load up this guy and, you know, replace him with somebody because basically you need a unit in the zone to cap the zone and it can't move. Like, that's something Watto definitely does better. Whoa. Whoa. Yeah, there it goes. I don't get it, personally, I mean... Anyway. So these are pretty cool. They're actually manpads, Swedish manpads. It's called the RBS 90. It kind of looks like a Javelin LML on the picture. I don't know how it actually is in real life. If that handle goes all the way to the bottom and it's on a tripod, or if it really is just like a Javelin or something. But it's got very nice range against helos and stuff. 2,800 meters against helos. They've got their own domestic ATGM as well, but I don't know, in Wano, in that Lanja expansion, it doesn't seem to, because like from the images of what's there, and the fact that it's called Landjot doesn't seem to have the Scandinavians. They're probably going to be their own DLC, right? Like Sweden, Norway, Finland, more Soviets. It's probably enough there. So yeah, they're pinging him like, hey, just get your recon helo and just go over here and look. And he's like, duh, I like eating the green ones first. Honestly, it's a horror show. It really is. I understand that, like, the world's best and brightest aren't stuck inside playing video games. They're probably doing something important, so you can't expect great things. And indeed, that applies to me as well. I'm a deeply flawed human being. Naysarms are pretty cool as well. And he's like, please just go look at that. And he's like, yeah, anyway. But yeah, you'd think like a strategy game that's been out for a long time. Presumably, the people playing it have been playing it for a while, and they're going to be pretty good, and they're going to understand. They're going to understand. Another thing you get is a lot of people only play video games while inebriated, or however you say that word. Proving my own paint thinner drinking skills here. Like I know people who just only play when they're drunk, and they do just lose all the time. And they still keep doing it. I don't understand it personally. Honestly, if you're tired, you shouldn't play this game. You will lose more. Just play something. Just go play Minecraft. Play it when when you've had a good night's sleep. Although there are people who never have a good night's sleep, and just grind away in the cubicle for 40 years and then die of heart failure. Anyway, that cheery topic out of the way. Checking out this Fighting Falcon here. Looks like it's going to kill a bunch of guys in the transports. Oh, Canada. Land of the free. Or however it's called. So here you go. This is a nice big boat. This is like 430 Warno bucks. You just got to double it, basically. What? How do I get 430 from that? Whoa. They should throw me in the wood chipper as well. I'm clearly retarded also. Anyway, it's obviously 300 and something. 370. I think I times it by 3 or something. I got halfway and then gave up. So yeah, but the idea is you're supposed to send it out with the escorts in front. And the other thing is you got to keep it moving or the arty hits it. So you see they smirched this, but it looks like it made it. And the idea behind having 2 CVs is one can stay still and the other one can move around. And yeah, this is probably going to die as well. It looks like it's already on fire, but it's just they painted it red. I guess that makes it go faster? Not entirely sure. Putting a nice handbrake turn there. That's how boats work. So, yeah, generally one big ship will just sit there and shoot. Like, this is 500 points. That's absolutely wild. This is 1,000 Warno bucks. It's actually more like 2 point something times, but it's over 1,000 Warno bucks there. Yes, it wins, as you would expect it to. It costs 3 times more than this one. Over here, not well. I mean, to be honest, Mr. Rapier and Joe and whatever's left of Vicalarix guys have actually made it all the way up to here. So all they have to do is get over, and there's like nobody here. There's just a bunch of BMDs that they just parked there and didn't unload them in time, lost a load of guys. So, yeah, wow. Anyway. Well, it's just even, though. It's just even. They need to kill this. And they have the capacity to do so at any time. All they gotta do is just fly a bunch of helos in with a bomber behind it, right? And then this is okay. So you get seed out for that because it is a. So yeah, we were talking about how cool this is. So the AMRAAM is just an air-to-air missile, and the Norwegians were like, let's just stick a box of 6 of them on a truck. It's in Broken Arrow as well, so it fires really, really fast because Yeah, it just does. I'm not sure why it's like white. Because nothing else here is, so like it's... How cool is that? Like there was something in this navy thing. There was something in it. But yeah, they basically they need a bunch more of these things. Although that's a really expensive one as well. Because this will eventually just die to those salvos. This Sea Buster thing's really good. This is another thing you get in the Navy tab. This basic... Because the idea is, obviously, this can intercept one missile, no problem. So you got to fire a bunch at once. This is what's going to happen to you if you're... In the US Navy, by the way, you're going to... This is you when you go to Taiwan. And they'll, instead of there being 3 of these, there'll be about 3,000. Half of them won't work properly, and it won't matter. They just fire a metric shit ton of missiles at you, and the idea is, yeah, you can shoot down a couple, but can you shoot down 1,000 Temu drones? So, yeah, but half of them don't work. Yeah, but you don't know which ones don't work. So, so you got to shoot them all down. Mix in a few missiles that actually work into the mix, right? And there you go. So it looks like the red plan is to just try and snipe all the CVs with the Smirch. But the fobs are empty. They've got one left. 10 minutes on one fob with the Smirches. I guess it can work if they sort of give up on some of the resupply things, right? Just resupply the Smirches, basically. The Mi-24P is losing to the Bell, which is it's like a Huey, right? Wow, this is very cinematic. Wow, that's crazy. This is cool. I wonder where he's going. That looks very cool. It's a shame this isn't in one. Oh, look, Mi-28, 1988. They should just drop it in there. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow, check this out. Wow. So, yeah, basically, this is why the availability of helicopters in Wano is way, way lower than it is in Red Dragon. When the game first came out, you could get 2 Apaches in a card and 3 Apaches in a card and stuff like that, and people would just do this every time, so... This is why we can't have nice things. But honestly, I don't really see a problem with it. If they make it expensive enough that this costs you loads and loads of money, then it should be fine that somebody can do this. But yeah, check that out. And then coupling with the aid CV mechanics in this game, where you have to leave the CV in even if it's capped, and you can't move it if it's capped, and because this guy's moving, they now cannot use the spawn. Like, you can't spawn here if this zone isn't captured. So that all that put together does make it a bit silly. But all people see is, oh, big blob moving towards me, I can't do anything. But the reason this has happened is because, like, look how much this is all costing. I mean, okay, they are cheaper in this game as well. Like, Toko, a hog in water is like, what, 110, 120 something? But yeah, the only reason this has happened, that means that basically on the front lines, you've had a massive point advantage for like a good 10, 20 minutes. Or, you know, you've lost loads of guys, so... But yeah, now they can't spawn any units in. One of them has left. Like, the only way to spawn the units, basically Canada here would have to get this and move it over to Juliet. The other reason they could do this is because Vic left, so that will have given them extra availability on their stuff. Obviously, if he was still here, presumably he had some Cobras of his own. He did, he had some Apaches, so like longbows and stuff, but yeah. It's obviously easier to coordinate. Like, this is just one guy's stuff, this is just Joe. So they can't spawn in units anymore. Apparently this goes on for another 6 minutes, but I'm just going to speed it up because like they can't spawn in units anymore. So what are they going to do? The only thing they can do is like load these up and move them back. But looks like they know that one's there, or they're just bombing everywhere over there. So yeah, what a horror show. Honestly, it's always nice to peek behind the curtain and see how things are in Wargame Red Dragon. The game people still say to this day is the superior game. There are things it does better. You don't get narrow rivers in Wano because it messes with the engine. When you zoom out, it looks like they're filled in. So the amphibious trait in Wano is basically just useless in most cases because there are no narrow rivers where it could work. So things like that. But yeah, I mean, what an interesting game. Well, it's nice to see a good old-fashioned helicopter, rush. Anyway, I'll see you around. GG.